Hi everyone, this is Cristina.
And Carmen.
Yes, there's no MJ today. She is recovering from a cold, not COVID. She checked a bunch of times.
Oh, good.
Yeah, that would suck. I mean, a cold still
sucks. Yeah.
Yeah, but it's still better than COVID, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Carmen's here today, and we are talking about, well, I'm going to be telling you, Carmen, about some haunted statues. Yeah. One in Mexico, one in Argentina, and then I threw in a little bonus one in California.
All right.
Yeah. But before that, I have a listener story.
And I will let you get through it with 0 interruptions.
Oh, we'll see about that. Are you drinking water?
Yeah, it's because I had a cup of coffee earlier in the morning. I didn't finish it all, though. And then, I treated myself to Smokies, this restaurant I like. Only open Monday through Friday. Today is a Friday I have off. Magically, because I requested it off.
Magically requested it off.
And so, yeah, I treated myself to Smokies and I got a vanilla latte there.
Oh, lovely.
It was probably like a 16 ounce-ish. And so I felt it was too soon for more coffee because I just finished that like an hour ago.
Okay, I can see that.
And also I not drink any water all day.
Yeah, you had a tough test to get through, and you can't be peeing through the test. Yeah, you passed it.
And I did once. The clock was running. It didn't stop for me to pee, but I had to.
Wow, and you still passed. Look at you. Let's all clap for Carmen. So yes, a listener story. Before I get to the story, if you have a story that you want to send into the podcast, you can email spookytales@gmail.com, submit it on our Discord. You can give us a call. I'll leave it in a voicemail. We just got one. I however, didn't have it ready to play, or I would have played it here. But I have it. We'll probably listen to it next episode. So thank you so much for the person who did that. I already listened to it and I forgot. So it's going to be like new for me. That's an option. You can email a voice note in. Some people have done that. And yeah, we'll play it in the episode. So I always love receiving everything, but those I think are like extra fun. And this was sent in via email. So I will just read the whole thing. Hello, Cristina and MJ. There's no MJ today.
And Carmen.
I'm gonna replace it. Hello, Cristina and Carmen. You guys are the best, and I enjoy listening to all your back and forth and storytelling. I am currently writing this from the most haunted room of the Alex Johnson Hotel in South Dakota. Wow. My job allows me to travel, and when I travel, I try to stay in haunted places. I love that. I would do the same. Maybe.
You said you would do the same?
I would, but
you wouldn't even go upstairs in our grandma's house. Shut the fuck up.
Fucking attacked. You're right.
No, I called you out. I didn't attack you.
Well, it was an attack for me. Even though you are calling me out, I feel attacked. Yeah, no, you're right. I won't even go upstairs because I'm scared.
I won't either. I'm just saying, like, I also wouldn't stay in haunted places on purpose.
I think if I was already there, I wouldn't leave, but yeah, I wouldn't go.
I wouldn't leave.
Seek it out. You would leave?
Yeah, I would leave.
I'm too broke to like go and find any hotels.
I could swing it.
You could swing, yeah. For that, you would swing it. Okay, let me continue now. Before I get to my listener story, I wanted to give you a little background on the room I'm staying in. Supposedly, people encounter a woman in white. She was a young bride who died by suicide by jumping out of the window of this room 812. There are different accounts, and reportedly she likes to open the window in the middle of the night, so I might wake up to that. You know what? By the time we're reading this, let us know if you did wake up to that, please. Let me know. I need to know. The hotel even keeps a log at the front desk where people can write out their experiences in the room. Wow. If I do end up experiencing anything, I will be sure to update you. Okay, so maybe she didn't. Anyway, on to my actual listener story that takes place in Mexico. These are experiences from my parents when they lived in Coahuila, Mexico. The house they lived in was in front of a little creek. My parents would experience a lot of things in the house. For example, my dad really liked reading those novelas with the sleazy cover. And he would leave stacks of them on their dresser. One night, my mom and dad were sleeping when they woke up to the sound of the novelas smacking against each other.
The novelas were having sex?
I guess.
Damn.
Wow. They both said that they were too scared to move, but when they finally did, they could see the stacks of novelas had been moved to the floor. It was as if the novelas that sat on top of the stack on the dresser were being stacked perfectly on the ground one by one.
Oh, that makes more sense.
Okay, yeah. I just thought they were like sitting there. We're so fucking dumb. Oh my God.
The fact that we thought the same thing just
cements
how dumb we are.
I was gonna say how we're like twins, but that's okay. Both. How we're dumb twins. Oh my God. Okay. When my mom would be cooking, she would have multiple pots on the stove, one for beans, one for rice. One day she left the food on the stove to cook and she went out to sweep the stoop, so she spent a few minutes outside. When she came back inside, she saw that the burners that she had put the pots on were off and that the pots had been moved to completely different burners. This would happen multiple times. Lastly, there was one time my dad woke up in the middle of the night and had to go to the bathroom. As he was walking down the hallway, he felt someone blowing on the back of his neck.
That's the worst one yet.
Oh my God. Being the middle of the night, my mom was sleeping and nobody else was in the house. He wiped his neck, turned around and saw that there was nobody there. There were always rumors that children had drowned in the creek that ran behind the house, and even though the occurrences scared them, they never really felt malicious. They felt malicious to me. No, those were like playful. I think
the only one that felt malicious to me was the neck touching thing,
blowing on the neck.
Yeah, oh, that's what it was. Yeah.
Ooh, I don't like it. So those are our stories. Again, huge fan of the podcast. Keep up the great work, Janie. Thank you, Janie, for sending that in. And wow, yeah, sorry we got confused with the magazine story.
I think only we could have done that.
I think everyone else would have been like, oh, they're being moved. And we were like, someone's clapping the magazines together. Oh my God. Our mom would say, par de mensas.
She would call us atas, which is short for atarantadas.
Yeah, that's how much she used to call us that. Yeah, that she shortened it to atas.
And like, now I'm not saying this long ass word anymore. Just ata now.
Yeah, so now, yeah, she'll like still message like
she'll still say it. Like, yeah, because sometimes we'll have moments like this. You know, who doesn't? Right? People.
Yeah.
Right. You know, the first story she said, or sort of story she said about the hotels and the bride jumping off, it reminded me of every hotel story that M tells on And That's Why We Drink.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. If a hotel doesn't have a story of a woman jumping out of the window, is it even a hotel? That's my question. Yeah. And she has to have a white dress or a red dress on.
Yeah.
Although there is somewhere, I don't remember if it's California or somewhere else, there's a train station with a lady in a green dress. And I was like, wow.
A green dress.
That's different.
Unheard of.
Yeah. I want to know where the ghosts are, where the girlies are with like the big t-shirts and hoop earrings and jeans and like Nike. Where are those ghosts?
You know what? I never hear haunted stories about like, you know, the hood. I feel like that's where they would be. And that's the kind of ghost that I would want to be haunted by, because it was not, I would be like, you know, you probably grew up next to me. And I wouldn't be afraid of you. You're not like some racist from the 1800s.
Exactly. You're not going to blow on my neck in the middle of the night because you get it. You get it. You're going to move my pots around maybe, but you're not going to scare me like that. Yeah.
If anything, you're going to watch out for me. And in that sense, you're more of an angel than a ghost. And that's what the song Angel Baby was truly about.
A ghost. I love that song.
Me
I was going
too.
to start singing it, but I can't do that.
Don't want to hear that.
I cannot sing. It's terrible. So my first story, well, first before I get into the haunted statue stories that I have written down, Carmen and I, first we grew up in Oakland and then we moved to Modesto, California. But in Oakland I don't know if it's still there either, but on 34th Street, I think, is that where our cousins lived? It was La 34, right?
I don't think so.
We were on 35th. We would walk over to their house, but on the way to their house, we used to pass a big house that had these like lion statues.
Lions. Oh, okay, yeah.
That wasn't the 34th Street. That was a different street.
They live further away, and 34 is next to 35.
Yeah, they live like, we had to pass the library. And if you're from Oakland, you know exactly what we're talking about, because is there more than one library? I don't know.
There might be.
There probably
Oakland's
is. It's a big city.
Town. Yeah, city, I mean. No one will know what we're talking about because they have a horrible sense of navigation, which is even worse as children. So
this is true. So anyway, there was a big house.
But I know what house you're talking about.
Yeah, you know what house. No one else knows what house I'm talking about.
Anyway, this is beyond.
This doesn't matter. Point is, we walked by a house with lion statues, and I imagined that those statues came to life. And then when our mom told us the story of La Casa de los Perros, even more so, I was like, oh my God, those lions are going to attack me. But we never walked in the middle of the night there, so we were safe. And then in Modesto, okay, people will know this probably. When you're leaving deep and you're going into the downtown area of Modesto or the rest of Modesto, you have to go through that little bridge.
Lion Bridge.
Okay. And it has lion statues as well.
Is it still, or did they take them off?
Are they gone?
I drive there often and I don't remember.
I just haven't been in the area.
I try to avoid that bridge because somebody told me it was like structurally unsound and it could fall at any moment.
What the fuck?
Yeah, somebody from work told me that. Like, since forever, I guess.
We used to drive that shit every day.
I know, that's what I told them. I'm like, I used to drive every day to fucking school. And they're like, yeah, no, I don't drive that way. They're like, I go the opposite way.
If you kept going a couple streets down on H, you could get on the freeway and skip the bridge. Like, you didn't have to take the bridge. You could keep going down and take the freeway instead of the bridge. Wow. Well, we could have died. Good to know. Point is that I also thought those statues were haunted.
Anytime I see a statue, I'm like, this is a person. The ghost is trapped inside, and at night they come out. I mean, I used to, not anymore.
Yeah, right. We have outgrown those beliefs.
Yeah.
Yeah. And but today I have some actual allegedly haunted statues, not our imagination, because we both thought this. The first one is El Diablo del Jardin. Woo. The devil in the garden, of the garden.
One of those.
I think both work. I don't know. English is our second language, so. Many years ago, there was once a man who lived on a farm that was located on La Avenida Almafuerte in Paraná, Argentina. I like that name, that street name.
I was just going to say that, yeah.
Yeah. He was a greedy man who called upon the devil to grant him a wish. The man told the devil that if he helped him win the biggest lottery in the region, he would give him his soul and build a statue in his honor so that everyone could see it and worship him. The devil agreed, and soon the man's wish came true, and he won the lottery. In return, the man made good on his promise, and he began to build the statue. He worked tirelessly to finish it, but just before it was completed, several neighbors heard loud, agonizing screams coming from the man's farm. When the townspeople went to check on the man, they found him paralyzed and in a similar pose as the statue.
Wow.
Whoa. That escalated quickly. No one could explain what happened to the farmer, but the townspeople began to believe that the man's soul became trapped in the statue.
Is that not what I said?
Wow. That is exactly. Wow. Did you know this story?
I guess deep down I did.
Deep down in your soul.
Yeah.
That you still have because you didn't sell it to the devil.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Not yet.
Not yet. The statue itself was terrifying, with many who claimed to have seen it saying it was the color white and the same height as an adult. It had a pointy goatee, large horns, and a diabolical grin with a stare that struck fear in you.
Yikes.
Terrible. Some also claimed that the statue was kneeling on its left leg while its right hand was over its bent right leg.
I'm sorry, what?
Yeah, so it was kneeling. Okay. Its left leg was touching the ground. The right leg was up, and it was resting its hands on the right leg.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, so the leg that was up was the right one, and that's the one that the hands were on.
Yeah, so like...
Well, this doesn't work.
But do you see my knee, though? Because, like...
I can, like this? Okay, yes, yeah. I didn't think you were going to act it out. So
I needed
if you want to see Carmen acting it out...
I needed to visualize it.
Okay. That makes sense, yeah.
Until I did that, I didn't. No.
Oh my God. Additional claims also say that the statue's left hand held a flute, and others say it was holding onto its beard. It's terrifying that people remember
different things.
Yeah. I don't like it.
No.
Like it's changing.
Like it knows you're reading it or seeing it and then changing itself.
Yes.
To reflect whatever a flute means. I don't know.
Musicians are diabolical though, so
they always sell their soul.
Yeah, and if a man is a musician, he's gonna break your heart. So that's why they learn the guitar. Guitar.
Yeah.
And if he can sing, oh my God, it's over.
Don't even go there.
No. Heard the same about dancers.
And if they can sing and dance,
you're fucking done. Don't even. Unless you're looking to get your heart broken. That's fine. Some people want that, to feel alive. I don't know. Either way, the frightening statue became an eyesore in the town, so the townspeople tried to get rid of it by throwing it down the river, but somehow it always showed back up.
a Ouija board.
Yeah. And yeah, it showed back up just fine. Like
nothing had ever happened to it.
Yeah, like new.
Wow.
For the next following years, several people in the town reported having an eerie feeling whenever they passed by the statue, but no one dared to try and move it again. They feared they would meet the same tragic fate as the farmer who built it. In 1965, though, a man bought the farmer's property and opened a restaurant called El Galeto del Oro. The restaurant became popular, and even though the restaurant owner claimed that the statue was not haunted, many people from across the country still visited the restaurant to have a chance to stare into the statue's eyes and possibly catch a glimpse of the farmer's soul, who was supposedly trapped in it.
Wow.
I'd do that. I would do that because there's no risk there, I think, if you're just looking at a statue and leaving.
I mean, nothing's gonna happen, right? If you look it in the eyes.
So far, no, I don't think so. Other than
it
people,
didn't say it was gonna steal your soul or anything like that. So
eventually, the restaurant's owner sold their property, and with the restaurant, the statue also disappeared.
What?
It was just gone one day. No one knows what happened to the statue, and photos of it do not exist, but many claim that the new owners threw it away and replaced it with a holy water fountain, hoping that it'll keep evil energy away.
Honestly, I'm not a fan of that. I wish they would have kept it.
Me too.
Like, they said themselves that it wasn't haunted. Why not just leave it there?
Yeah, nothing was happening,
Yeah. Like, if you want to be somewhere where there's holy water, just go to church.
Yeah, but leave the statue.
Like, don't bring the holy water to the restaurant. Although it wasn't a restaurant anymore, I guess. So
yeah, I don't know what it was after the.
Yeah,
well, let me see if it's in here.
Okay.
I don't know if it became anything. Even though the city of Paraná has changed a lot since the devil's statue was there, some people, like the architect Marcelo Olmos, who lived there years and is the director of the Museum of Rosa Galisteo, swears the statue was real. Yeah, I guess, there's people that still remember it and people that have no idea or never saw it.
And it's just gone, like it's nowhere now.
It's nowhere. So Marcelo Olmos says that the statue was a fawn and not a devil. But other people swear it was a devil. Yeah, like a goat. Is that what a fawn is? What the fuck is a fawn?
But it had legs. It's like a centaur, but like a goat.
I'm imagining. Okay, that's exactly what I was picturing. Like the guy from Hercules.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, where he's like a half goat, half person.
Yeah, that's what I was picturing also, but also like the centaurs from Harry Potter.
Okay, well, no, that's
but they have 4 legs and he only has 2 legs.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay, well, that's still pretty creepy, even if it wasn't.
I mean, I would confuse that for the devil for sure. Like,
yeah, what is even if it has horns?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's not a fawn. That's the devil.
Mm-hmm.
Nowadays, the farm and the statue no longer stand, and instead it's a commercial building. That's what it is now. Thanks, Dawn. I was wondering what it was now, so glad she answered that for us. Why is there no pictures of it?
Did it say the years?
So the restaurant opened in 1965, and I don't know how long the restaurant was open before it closed down.
I mean, yeah, there could be pictures of it then.
Yeah, I wish. That would have been cool.
Yeah.
Okay. This next one I have talked about on TikTok, but like very briefly because it's a 1-minute video. Actually, I think this is like 45 seconds when I uploaded it to TikTok. But this is the legend of las siete cabecitas in Chihuahua.
Interesting. I'm hooked already.
Yeah, I mean, siete cabecitas, you just hear that and you're like, what?
You're like, intriguing.
And like, if you pass by this statue or monument, I think you pass by it and you're like, what the fuck? Because it is hence the name, las siete cabecitas, the 7 little heads. It's a big, like, rectangular monument. It's big. And then in the middle, there's like 7 bronze heads. 7 bronze heads.
Yeah.
Sorry. Yeah. Of little boys. And then underneath each head, there's a name of each boy. And then there's a bigger plaque that I cannot find a clear picture
So
of
you don't
it,
know
and
what
I don't
it
know what it
says.
says.
Oh.
Yeah, but I think it's talking about maybe what happened on that day, which I'm gonna tell you what happened on that day. So on kilometer 21 of the Carretera Panamericana, this is a road in Chihuahua, so the city of Chihuahua in the state of Chihuahua, Mexico, just past a road known as La Curva de la Muerte, sometimes also called La Curva del Perico. Either way, it's a dangerous curve.
Well, I prefer the parrot name.
Yeah, right. Parrot curve or
Death curve.
yeah, exactly. So just past that curve, there's a monument depicting the 7 heads of young boys and a plaque, like I just described. This monument was put up after a tragic accident. So on August 1st, 1939, 25 boys, all aged 10 to 14. They were all part of the Young Men's Christian Association of Chihuahua, so the YMCA.
Yeah.
I just never knew what the letters were.
I heard before, and then like I forget those. Every time I hear it, it's like a shock. Like, what? Really? That's what it's called?
Yeah, I didn't know it was a religious organization either. Anyway, they were traveling on un camión de redilla, and this is a truck, like a cargo truck. And if you've seen old, like even pictures from like the labor union strikes, like farmers, oh my God, what are they called? Farm workers. There's these trucks, and on the back they have like wood panels almost.
Okay, yeah, I know what you're talking about.
That is the truck.
Okay.
So these type of trucks they're not made anymore because they're not really safe.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you know, back then they were used to carry people in the back, and so you know, this was very normal, very common. And so some of the boys, I want to say most of the boys, were sitting in the back of the truck on boxes, and they were headed to a national park called Cumbres de Majalca, also in Chihuahua, and they were going to camp there for a week. And this was a normal ride, you know, as young boys are going to do in the back of a truck. They're laughing, they're singing, apparently they were yelling at cows, you know, whatever, boy things. And then it was 5 p.m. that afternoon when another vehicle, they were heading to that curve that I just mentioned. So they were going, and this doesn't make sense if you're on audio, but they were going that way on the curve,
like
and
straight,
a car was
like north.
Yes, yeah. So they were going like north. They were gonna take the turn, and then coming down the curve was another car.
Yikes.
And again, like I said, it was a dangerous curve. They didn't see the truck. And then later, the driver of that vehicle said that his brakes weren't working, but that he did see the truck. So it was like a conflicting story. Either way, he came straight down the curve. They were turning at a slower velocity than that truck driver was coming down. So they crashed. They collided.
Like head on?
Yes.
Damn.
And these boys were on the back of the truck. So 7 of the boys died. 3 of them died on the spot after the crash. 4 of them died in the hospital. However, if you hear versions of the legend, some will say that they were decapitated during the crash, which is not true. It's just part of the legend. They were not decapitated. It's more ominous, though, if you think that the 7 boys were decapitated and then there's a monument with their heads.
Yeah, I would fall for that, or I would believe that legend because of the 7 little heads.
And that's probably why that version exists. There's also versions of the legend that say it's a bus and not a cargo truck, and that the kids were sticking their head out of the windows.
Oh man,
when another bigger truck passed by, and then that's how they were decapitated.
That was like a popular like urban myth.
Yeah, I was deadly afraid. Yeah, of sticking my hand out.
Oh yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Yeah,
I thought a car was gonna come
much
and
less my
snatch
fucking head. Yeah,
I would never. And every time I saw dogs, and this is me, not me now, but I also thought that it was gonna happen to a dog.
Put your head back in.
Yeah, like I know you like it, but please, you're in danger. Legit. I feared for those dogs.
Yeah,
it reminds me of our poor dog. We had a little dog named Pee-wee, and our dad, for some reason, was driving a truck, and instead of bringing our little tiny dog in front with him, he put him in the back on the freeway, and then he was driving.
Ridiculous.
And from the window, from his mirror, the side of his mirror, he just saw our dog dangling.
Another car honked at him.
Oh,
and at
you're
first
right.
he thought the car was being like crazy trying to pass, or being like, you know, that kind of driver, like trying to pass him up or just honking for no reason. And then like finally flagged him down and like was pointed in the back. My dad's like, what? And then he looks in the rear view mirror or the side mirror, and then he sees our fucking dog dangling from his leash, hanging on for dear life.
That poor dog would not listen to him for like a month after or longer. I don't even remember.
Pee-wee was a survivor.
He survived that. I could not believe it. So, you know, after hearing that, I was like, okay, dogs sticking their head out of the window. They're safe because our dog survived dangling from the side of a truck on the freeway. Like,
yeah.
Anyway, so yeah, these boys were not sticking their head out of the window as the popular legend will depict. No, they were sitting in the back on boxes, and that's very dangerous to do, obviously. But again, this was normal at the time. So one of the survivors, Alberto Contreras, he said that all of their things after the accident, everything was all over the road. It was a horrible sight. Clothes, food, blankets, the boxes that the boys were using as seats, and blood everywhere, plus, you know, their friends that had passed away. And yeah, like I said, part of the legend will, you know, say that all boys died at the same time, like there on the spot, but 3 of them did. 4 passed away in the hospital later. It was a tragic accident. The whole state of Chihuahua was mourning the death of the boys, because I mean, it's 7 kids.
They were so young too.
Yeah, they were so young. And I will say, I mean, I think every country, but Mexico like loves kids. And like when you go to Jalisco, there's these signs everywhere that say La Ciudad de los Niños, or when you go to Zapopan, I mean.
Well, and it doesn't make sense to me because none of it is really, the sidewalk is dangerous.
Yeah, no, it's true. It's not child friendly, but there's signs everywhere. The city structure is not child friendly, but
okay, yeah,
people love kids. Like, I've said this before on the podcast, but when I traveled to Mexico compared to traveling to within the States, people are so nice in Mexico. They're like, they'll help you, they'll hold your child without like, oh, you need help, here, let me grab them and whatever. It's very nice. Anyway, so yeah, people, they were very sad. They were mourning the loss of these 7 children. And so they put up a monument on the 26th of May in 1940. And this was built to forever remember the young boys who died on that tragic day, but also to warn other drivers of the dangerous curve. Like, they thought maybe they'll see this and like, hey, these kids died here. Like, this curve, slow down. It's dangerous.
Yeah.
The boys who died, it was a 14-year-old Venancio Gabriel Gardea, Armando Gutierrez Valderrama, and Jorge Giocoman. They were all 14. No, I messed up something here. They were 13 or 14.
Okay.
Oh, no, I got it. Venancio and Armando were 14. Jorge Giocoman was 13. Luis Diaz Garcia and Teodoro Faulkner, they were 11.
Interesting last name. That's so young.
Yeah. And then Alberto Mendez Peña and Horacio Brondo Valdez were 10.
Oh my God, even younger.
Even younger, yeah. Some of these names I just love. They're like old-timey names. Venancio, Horacio.
Yeah.
Teodoro's making a comeback in English, at least. I don't know about Spanish.
Really? I didn't know that.
Yeah, Theodore. There's a lot of Theos. Although I will say 2018 children that are some type of Latino, Latina, that kid's going to be named Mateo. When I'm at the park with my Mateo, there's a ton of Mateos.
So you weren't the only one that chose that name that year?
No, I was not. It's a very popular name. And you know what? I don't even care because he's going to experience the same thing where there's like a bunch of Christinas in the classroom.
Yeah. It's so funny because in every grade, there's maybe one other Carmen or no other Carmens in our grade in high school.
And there were like 3 other Christinas in every one of my classes.
Yeah. And so I have a complex about it. And when I started working where I am now, there's 3 units within my like actual unit. And there was a Carmen in one of the other units. And they were like Carmen, whatever initial it was, and Carmen H. And I was so not used to it. And then she changed the units. And then people sometimes were still writing Carmen H. And I was like, no. There's no other Carmen here anymore. I'm just Carmen. And then I made them reprint because they have the list.
Oh my God.
I'm a monster. They have they send out, always print out a list of phone numbers for everybody. And then a list of birthdays. And then somebody had written Carmen H. And I was like, no. There's no more Carmen H. Let's reprint this to just say Carmen, please.
Oh my God.
And they just roll their eyes at me.
Yeah. So yeah, he's gonna have the same experience. There's gonna be like Mattel, H Mattel, L Mattel, whatever. It's gonna be funny. I'm curious to see about Sammy. And like I said earlier, I can't find clear pictures of what the plaque said. I imagine it says something about the tragic day and
probably like on this day, like on this dangerous road, like these boys lost their lives. Like, be careful when you're driving or something like that.
Yeah, that's what I imagine. If anyone is in the area, let me know. I want to see like a clearer thing of this plaque. But yeah, you can go see the monument yourself. It's there. Sadly, it is a little tagged up as things become,
over the years.
Yeah. Drivers that pass by at night claim to see a couple of boys running across the streets.
Oh my God.
And when they like brake, they disappear in front of them before their eyes. And this is right by the monument.
Man, is it drivers that are going too fast and the boys are like, you better calm your tits?
I wonder, you know what? There was a comment in one of the sources that I used that said like many believe they're being warned to slow down by the boys who don't want other people to relive.
That makes sense.
To suffer the same fate.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Others that have gone during the day even claim to see the boys crying.
Oh,
the faces in the statue, the statues like crying. Scary, but sad at the same time. Others claim to hear screams of children in the area.
That's scary.
Yes, yeah.
Like, I think I'd rather see the crying statues.
Me too. I wouldn't want to see the running across the street.
No.
No. Others say that the boys who died that day are condemned to repeat the accident for eternity.
Why?
Picture that it's not even that they're repeating it, but it's like
like a warning, like a
not a warning, but like sometimes things happen in a house and it's like a type of haunting that is like a
I know
memory.
what you're talking about.
But I don't.
There's a word for it.
There is, like a residual haunting.
Yeah.
I cannot believe I remember that. Wow, A for me.
Yeah.
But yeah, I almost think that it's a residual haunting.
That makes
People
more sense.
are re-seeing it. Yeah. But that the boys are not there
They're
anymore.
off living their lives in heaven.
Living their happy afterlife.
Wherever, we go afterwards.
Yeah. That's what I hope, at least.
Yeah.
But many people will hear the sounds of a crash when there's no other cars around.
I mean, it sounds like a residual haunting, whatever it's called.
And then hear those screams. So that's what I think. But people that experience that haven't actually seen it happening. They just hear it. Yeah. And then obviously what I guess kind of contradicts that it's a residual haunting though.
The running
is that people that have seen the boys running across. So I don't know. Very creepy. Every year on the day of the accident, there's an homage to the 7 boys. So people gather, and there's still, at least a couple of years ago, I found an article. No, I think it was like 5 years old now. There was two of the survivors, standing up there talking about the boys, and there's cameras. I'll find the picture because they still have this every year, and they partly do this, at least they say, in hopes that the boys find peace and move on, but probably also just to commemorate them, especially because the last article I found, there was still a couple survivors alive and present. So yeah, that was las siete cabecitas in Chihuahua. I'll post pictures because it's a strange monument to look at.
I can't wait to see, because
it's a little ominous.
It sounds scary, like even the monument itself.
Yeah, it's just like 7 heads there, and it's I don't like it.
Like Mount
and they're
Rushmore
bronze
style
too.
Or what?
No, you'll see. It's like a.
Oh, okay.
Oh yeah, I described it a little bit. The heads are sticking out. They're not like, well, I guess a little Mount Rushmore style. Now that maybe a little bit. Okay, and then I have one more just bonus statue that I wasn't going to include, but I found it last minute because I was like, you know what, we have a lot of listeners in California, let me just see if there's a haunted statue story in California. And there is. So in Bakersfield, there's only one roundabout in all of Bakersfield. Yeah, shout out Bakersfield. Weren't you just there?
I just drove by there.
Exactly.
On my way to and back from LA. So yes, I was there.
yeah. But in Bakersfield, there's one roundabout. It's known as the Circle, or like, I don't know how to pronounce this either. Garces Circle. I don't know. I guess it's apparently just known as a circle because it's the only roundabout in Bakersfield. So if you're in Bakersfield or you've driven through it, it's the only one. You would have seen it. And also, there's a big statue. This roundabout was built in 1932. and it was part of Highway 99's construction. And since its construction, there's been talk of paranormal activity there because in the middle of the roundabout, there's a big statue of a Franciscan missionary. Oh, it must be Garces because these missionaries are all Spanish.
Yeah, probably. Then.
Yeah, so that makes sense. So Padre Garces was added to the center of the circle in 1939. And after that, that's when the stories began. So drivers report seeing the statue wave its arm.
Yikes.
Very yikes.
We'll get into a car accident after that.
Right. Well, apparently some wreck victims reported that they heard the statue utter a prayer right before the car crash.
Are you fucking serious? Oh my God.
Yeah, like a warning.
Processing that insurance claim.
Right. Well, I heard it pray and
you're like, excuse me? Denied.
Claim denied. You were clearly
You're
drinking.
at fault.
Yeah. So people think that the waving or the hearing it pray it's warning you that you're going to get in a car accident.
Or it's causing it.
Honestly,
the fuck?
Yeah. Yeah, because wow. I would crash if I heard that. Yeah, because I would be startled because anything startles me. I could be sitting here really into whatever I'm doing and then like someone's like, well,
I can't
Kyle,
even
my
hear...
husband is like, Cristina. I'm like, ah!
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
No, but the other day I was driving my car and I kept hearing like this squeaky noise, and now I think it's like how I don't know if it's my wheel or what, but I was like, what if there's a mouse in my car? But how would that even happen? Like, I've never even seen a mouse here.
Oh my God.
And so I almost crashed.
Yeah. If there's a fly in my car that just gets in there,
drive.
I need to park because I will crash.
Don't even get me started. One time there was a fucking bee in my car.
Wow, I would die.
And I hadn't gone inside. I saw it before.
Oh,
this is ridiculous. Okay, because me and my husband, we were going inside my car, and then we saw the bee, and then both of us were refusing to go inside the car, and he wouldn't go and get the bee. And I was like, "Are you serious? You know that I'm afraid of bees. I have a phobia of bees.
You do have a phobia.
And he's just regular scared of bees.
It's not a phobia.
It's not a phobia. So it's like, okay, if you don't have a phobia, then you have to be the brave one and go get the bee.
Yeah.
And then some guy that was outside the store, with the cardboard sign. He used that, and I let him because I was like, well, I'm not gonna do it, and neither is Paul. So he went inside my car and he got the bee out.
This is hilarious. Wow, you never told me this.
Oh yeah.
Wow. So I'm not surprised by any of it.
I was like, thank you, sir.
Wow.
But imagine if I heard that while I was driving, I wouldn't be here today in this chair.
I would probably be dead.
Yeah.
This is why I don't drive through Bakersfield.
There's a lot of bugs.
It's
there.
not because I'm in another state. No, it's because
also
of
the
statue.
Father. Right. I just remember that.
Yeah.
I was like, the bees.
The bees.
I know they're dying, but I'm afraid of them.
I will help them from afar.
I will help them by keeping my distance.
Yeah, because if you get near one, you're gonna like swing at it. No, would run.
I'll run for my life.
Yeah. No, you will. We might as well tell the story already. When we were kids and we were in the Oakland Zoo, Carmen and Luis had like ice cream or popsicles or something.
I don't remember. I just remember it melting in my hands as I was frozen in fear.
Yeah, and then they were surrounded by honestly,
and
we
I
were
bet you
probably
it was like 4 bees.
Yeah,
but in my little kid head, which is how I remember it now,
it was a swarm of bees.
And we were screaming. Yeah. And I don't think you left us.
I ran away. Yes, yeah. I ran away. I was gonna save myself.
And me and Luis, we froze.
Yeah. Carmen and our brother,
we were screaming there, frozen in fear
from these swarm of bees that were in reality probably 4 bees.
Yeah.
Screaming for our parents. And ever since then, Carmen has been very, very afraid of bees.
Remember as teens, we went to I don't know what lake, and I didn't get out of the car because there was bees outside.
Yes. Yes, I remember that.
And my parents just left me in the fucking car, and they went to like, enjoy whatever time with you guys, and I was just there in the car.
We all left you there, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, this just shows that it's a real fear of bees. It's not like a normal fear.
Yeah.
But yeah, those have been the haunted statues. A little bonus one in California, but the other one in Argentina and Chihuahua, Mexico. And there's more haunted statues that we've already shared throughout the podcast. There's one this isn't a statue. It's more like a tombstone. I think it kind of counts as a statue, but there's one in Jalisco. It's not Guadalajara. It's another town in Jalisco. I forgot the name of it. But this grave, like, this is a very homophobic legend, I think. But
you've already shared it? I don't remember.
I don't remember if I shared it on TikTok or on the podcast, okay. But I'll just a very short version of it. And I want to say it's Sayuala or Sahuala, Jalisco.
And none of this sounds familiar. I don't think you shared it on the podcast.
There we go. El Anima de Sayula. It's even turned into a movie. In a movie from the 1980s with Antonio Aguilar. But according to legend, there's this statue this cemetery is haunted, right? And they would say that if you went around a certain time, this statue would tell you where the treasure was, but you had to do it a favor. And it was a sexual favor. And man. So a man was like tricked by his friend to go to the cemetery because he owed him money. And he's like, you need to get this treasure because like you owe me money. You need to give me my money. And so he goes. And then it's like midnight or whatever. And he's like, all right, well, my friend told me that I had to come here at midnight and talk to you because it's like a statue of a ghost. And then the man's spirit is said to also manifest where the statue's at. And so then he tells this statue that he's here for the treasure. And then the ghost is like, oh, yes, it's right over there. But first you have to like, I don't know, tickle my butt or something. Like it doesn't actually say tickle my butt, but it's like a sexual favor. and then ever since the guy runs out of the cemetery, and then ever since then he holds his hands behind his butt because he's like, I don't want anything in my butt, I'm so scared. Like,
oh my god.
It's a ridiculous legend. Like
that's the legend. Are you serious?
Yeah, that's a very short version of it. It's I'm like, why does this even exist?
Wow.
Yes.
I'm not shocked, weirded out by that story.
Yeah, it's strange.
Yeah, that's weird.
Anyway, this brings us to the end of the episode. Do you have any spooky recommendations?
I think the only one I have is, and you said it, I think last episode, that there's a spooky-ish episode of This Fool.
That shit was funny.
And I just finished the season earlier today.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
Did you like it?
I did. It was pretty funny.
I was talking to our brother about it, and he was like, I liked it, I loved it, but I hate Julio.
Oh my god. Well, I don't think he's supposed to be likable. I think he's supposed to be like a nice guy.
Yeah, but he's terrible, really.
Yeah.
And
and it's like how we talked about before, how we like shows where everyone's horrible to each other.
Yeah.
And he's
we
horrible,
do love those.
Truly.
He really is. And we both, Luis and me, both agree that Luis is our favorite character.
Oh yeah, he's my favorite. Yeah. After that, it's Minister Payne.
He's also horrible.
Yeah, he is.
Everyone's equally horrible. Yeah, they're all.
I feel like Luis is the least horrible, actually.
Actually, I do. He may be the convicted felon, but he is the least horrible.
And that is the real lesson of the show.
I was gonna say that has to be like a purpose on purpose. Yeah,
I'm sure. Yeah. You know, he's hella funny though, how he like goes on and on, like when he was recording the video. Oh wait, did you finish it?
Yes, I watched the whole thing in like a day.
Oh, where he was recording the video to propose to Ruby, and then he's like, oh, and then we might die in a plane crash, and our grandkids will be like, and we'll be like, it's okay, we're in heaven. It's tight up here, but we miss you guys. And it's like, why would you go on that?
Yeah,
or like rambling.
It's hilarious.
My favorite though is from last season when he dressed up as that dinosaur in the group, and everyone's like, you need to be serious. And at the end they realized that the metaphor of Austin Powers was actually serious.
Yeah, that was funny. It's a good show. If anyone has not watched it, like, what are you doing?
Yeah, I've been recommending it left and right to everybody.
Yeah. Me too. I've already mentioned it, like you said.
Yeah.
Like 2 episodes ago.
And yeah, I don't think I've watched anything else. I've been watching Murders in the Building, and it's spooky in the sense of crime.
Yeah, and which we also enjoy here.
Yeah, I'm
enjoy is the wrong word, but
yeah. Yeah. But no, I haven't really watched anything spooky or...
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, since you brought up crime, there is a documentary on La Luz del Mundo, which me and you did an episode on for Spooky Tales on here. So it's, I think, I don't remember if it's a one full documentary or if it has episodes. I'm pretty sure it's like 4 or 6 episode thing. I could be wrong. It's on HBO. It's on Max. My bad. It's not HBO Max anymore. But I've watched a couple episodes of it. Horrible stuff, but very informative.
Damn. You still need to share your password with me, by the way.
Oh my God, I thought I already did that.
You did, but I lost it somewhere. Like, it's too far back in the messages to scroll.
Oh my God. Okay, well, I'll send it to you then.
Cool. Thank you.
Yeah, I think that's the only thing I've been watching. I have been meaning to check this podcast out for so long, and I finally did it, but I don't. So I listened to Judge Snap presents Spooked or something. Hold on. Oh no, I can't. My phone's over there. This is just my case. Wow, what a loser.
Let me see.
Spooked by Snap Judgment, I think.
Oh,
it's very popular. People go on and tell their own scary stories. There's a host that is like presenting the story, right? And so I listened to one called Las Muñecas because it's a guy, telling his story in Spanish. However, I do not like when someone is telling their story in Spanish and so they start their story and then like fades out and then there's a voice actor that comes in and says it in English, but then they give that guy an accent. And I'm like, I get it. It's like I don't know. I just like I know why it's done. I get it. It's an English audience.
But if you're translating already, like we know the accent is forced, right? We know or do you think it's not?
Maybe it's not, but it feels like it. But I could be wrong.
It sounds like to me when I was reading for Historias Unknown, I was reading that Coca-Cola book. And whenever the author would read quotes that were said by the union workers, which of course were either Colombian or what was the other place the stories took place? They were Central American.
Guatemala, no?
Yeah. He would use an accent. But I knew the voice author or whatever they're called, voice actor, narrator, spoke English normally. And then he would put on this accent. And I'm like, okay, you don't have to put on this accent. Like, I don't like this.
Yeah. I found that I very much prefer, like, there's a podcast called True Scary Story, which I do story editing for. And then someone else comes in and does the sound design. That's by Edwin on Scary FM. And so it's people telling their own scary story. And then he has a Spanish version of it called just Historias de Terror Reales or something like that. And it's just someone just telling their full story in Spanish. And I'm like, I prefer that because there's no one coming in and speaking over them, where you can hear the Spanish very, very, very quietly in the background and then someone speaking over them. Yeah. I think I just would rather hear the full story in that person's language if I can.
Yeah, but it's not always possible,
No, exactly. And like I get it. That podcast Spooked has a like mainly English speaking audience, but because I know Spanish, I can hear the background, and I think it's just distracting to me
because you're processing both things because you know both languages. Yeah,
documentaries do it all the time too.
They do.
Yeah, and it is still distracting. I'm just like. So yeah, but the episode is good. I mean, it's people telling their own scary stories. It's always good. Another one I've been meaning to check out is Jim Harold's Campfire Stories.
Oh, I always hear them talk about it on And That's Why We Drink, but I've never checked it out.
Yeah, I think it's the same vibe, but I think people call in to tell their stories. I don't think they're pre-recorded and then like edited into it. I think people are just calling in and telling it. So I want to check that out. I've been meaning to. If anyone has like a really good episode that are like, if you're gonna listen to it, listen to this episode. Let me know. But yeah, I guess that brings us to the end of the episode now officially. Before we go, do you have anything to plug, Carmen?
I do.
Yes.
So Cristina and I have 2 other podcasts. If you are into Latin American history, then you can check out Historias Unknown. And if you are into novelas and talking shit, chismear, whatever, then check out Novelas con Cabecito.
Yes. That's it. You can also check both of us out with MJ on the book club episodes. The next book club book is Silver Nitrate by Silvia Moreno Garcia. I'm waiting on my copy to arrive. It has not arrived.
I still need to buy it.
Hey, use our link. Okay.
Okay.
Use my bookshop link so I get some coins.
Okay.
Thank you. And yeah,
but I wanted it on the Kindle.
Oh, you want it on the Kindle? Never mind then.
Maybe I'll see.
Oh, I wanted the actual copy this time.
Oh, you're not going to do the audiobook?
No, we'll see how it goes with an actual book. I have meds now. I think I can read finally. Anyway, before I go on and on about that, yes, so check that out if you haven't, because it's our next read. Stay spooky, and if you hear a statue speak while you're driving, just keep driving. Don't get in a car accident like we would. Stay spooky. We'll catch everyone next time. Bye.